What's up YouTube, Mellow and Matt here. Now I know this should have been out a bit earlier because obviously Clarissa was announced on Tuesday, but I decided to wait till the end of the week because I was expecting more Earnest Correct support and it was worth the wait in the end. So we're going to cover all the Earnest Correct stuff in one go. Going to do all the card of the day reveals. We're also going to cover Thursday's video they put up showing the last bits of support for Celestial. But let's dive into it and see where it goes. First up, we're going to cover the Clarissa line. First card up is Dignified Will Clarissa. When this unit's rolled upon, if you win a second, draw a card. Usual start skill, but this one's actually going to be a key. You need to have this for Clarissa instead of picking any of the starts. And the reason why is within Serious Challenger Clarissa. Her skill is, when this unit is placed on Vanguard Circle by riding Dignified Will Clarissa, look at 7 cards from the top of your deck. Choose up to one grade 1 or less card with Earnest Correct in its card name from among them. Reveal it to your opponent, put it to your hand, shuffle the remaining cards together and place them on the bottom of your deck. And its second skill is, during your turn, if you don't have any rear guards, this unit gets power plus 5000. So the search skill is very interesting. It's a free chop 7 check, add 1 to hand, shuffle the rest, put them to bottom to make a stack. Really nice skill. And the second skill is actually really nice touch because obviously Clarissa is already been said it's getting support from its rear guards. So you're seeing in the earlier stages she isn't that supported yet, but as she grows and grows, she finally gets the support of the. We're going to use the word family. I'm trying to dodge the meme, but yes, Clarissa is the family deck. But yeah, really nice card. Interesting to see how consistent it ends up being with the grade 1's top 7 check, but only testing will tell over that. Second card is Accurate Interval Clarissa. Her skill is when she's placed on top of Serious Challenger Clarissa. You can Soul Blast 1, look at top 7 cards from top of your deck again, but this time you choose up to one grade 2 or less card with Earnest Correct in its card name from among them. Reveal it, put it into your hand, shuffle the remaining cards, and put them on the bottom of the deck. And second skill, same as the grade 1 version of during your turn, if you have no rear guards, this unit gets power plus 5000. So the grade 1 and grade 2 do reward you for not rushing down the opponent by giving the extra 5k power, which is really nice. The grade 2 actually costing a Soul Blast makes sense when you look when we actually get to the grade 2s because they're a bit stronger skills compared to the grade 1s. But let's see where it goes. Because finally get to our boss first, who is Earnest Correct Leader Clarissa. Her skill is, when she is placed on Vanguard Circle by riding on Accurate Interval Clarissa, you can Count Blast 1, search your deck for, aim to be the strongest idol, read it to your opponent, put it into your hand, and shuffle your deck. Second skill is, when this unit attack hits, sorry, not the Vanguard, just hits in general, sorry. You draw a card, choose one of your rear guards with Earnest Correct in its card name, and it gets power plus 5000 less. So you might be thinking to yourself at this point, that second skill's not that strong, because literally an on-hit draw plus 5k isn't that amazing. Well, the aim to be the strongest idol is what changes that. It is the order card that you search from Clarissa. Its skill is, you can only play this if you have got 5 or more units with Earnest Correct in their different card names. So you need 5 different named Earnest Correct cards on the field. Until the end of the turn, all of your Earnest Correct cards gain power plus 5000. Plus, if your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, choose one of your Earnest Correct Leader Clarissas, and it gets the skill. When this unit will attack, you choose 3 of your opponent's circles, and this unit battles all of those units on the chosen circles. So really good card. It gets round the likes of Fasado and Resist because obviously you're targeting the circle, not the unit. This is very similar to a Big Bang Knuckle Dragon. The memes are being made of Clarissa is the great grandchild of Big Bang Knuckle Dragon, but it's a really good card. Being able to attack 3 units, having all of them have the on-hit pressure of draw a card and give 5k, because the skill of Clarissa isn't once per turn, so it would work for each of the hits that goes off. Really nice card. But obviously, we kind of need some Earnest Correct support to go with it. So we're going to cover the grade 2s next, which are Earnest Correct members. We are Earnest Correct member Katarine. Her skill is, when the attack of your Earnest Correct leader Clarissa on your Vanguard circle hits, you can counterblast one, discard a card, and stand this unit. So obviously Clarissa's now gained multi-attack in the form of Katarine, so 4 attacks really nice. But discard 1 to restand, kind of a bit overcosted personally, but it's still a really good card. Next card up is Earnest Correct member Evelyn. She's grade 2 triple rare. Her skill is auto when she's placed on rearguard circle from hand. If your Vanguard is Earnest Correct leader Clarissa, counterblast 1, associate for any grade 2 or lower that's got the Earnest Correct in its card name, read it to your opponent, and then if you don't have that unit in play, you call it to open rearguard circle. So, one thing I do want to stress, it must come straight to field. If you've got one of the units in play, you don't get to add it to hand. It is literally counterblast 1. Oh look, I've got this card, shuffle your deck. It must be something that's not got a different name, and it goes straight into an open rearguard circle. It's very restrictive, but it's a really good card for said restriction. Next card up is Earnest Correct supporter Trilby. This is for the grade 1s now. Her skill is auto rearguard circle. When your Vanguard's attack hits, until the end of the turn, this unit gets power plus 5,000. So obviously, if all 3 of your attacks due to aim to be the strongest idol hit, you gain 15k. She becomes a 20k booster. Really nice. Solid card. You obviously normally want that on your 2 back row rearguard circles, so they then get breakthrough and push a lot of power through. Next card up, which is the last of the Earnest Correct name stuff, is Earnest Correct supporter Riona. Her skill is auto rearguard circle. When your other rearguard with Earnest Correct in its names is retired, during your opponent's turn, if this unit is on rearguard circle, you can soul blast 1, discard 1, and return those retired units back to hand. So what this is soul blast 1 and then hand swap depending on what's retired. Also in returns of retired, it does work if your opponent swings into one of the rearguards with an attack. That is still classed as retired. It does, however, say it needs to be a rearguard, so it will not work if you guard with an Earnest Correct and it goes to drop zone. But that is actually it for the Earnest Correct named stuff. We are now going to move on to the actual support. There's extra support around it that's not got the Earnest Correct name. And we're going to start off with strong and adorable Rilla. Her skill is, at the end of the battle, this unit attacked. You can current blast 1, put this unit to the bottom of your deck, draw a card, choose one of your units with Earnest Correct in its card name, and it gets power plus 5,000 per turn. So this is kind of fun for when you're not actually using the order, because obviously the order is restricted to having 5 rear guards. This can get around it if you're doing on the pre-order turns, because obviously you only got 2 grade 2s, 2 grade 1s, and 1 grade 3. If you're then using stuff like the Rilla or the further support, it does mean you are going to have to put a grade 2 in the back row to actually get the different names in play. So, might see play, but doubt it will, unfortunately. Next card up is Best Friends Idula. Her skill is auto. When she's placed on Guardian Circle, choose up to one of your rearguards with Earnest Correct in its name, and return it to your hand. So, a little bit of bouncing, which is fun. Protect your rearguards. It doesn't say that it has to be on when attacking the Vanguard. So, if they swing a big number into your rearguard, you can bounce the rearguard they're attacking and then nullify the attack. So, it's a bit of fun. You do have the 3 empty slots after you've put all the Earnest Correct support in. This could be your grade 2 slot, so interesting. But again, it's a grade 2, so you have the thing of putting it onto the rearguard circle. It isn't that useful. Then the last bit of the Earnest Correct support is Solid Step Piccoli. Her skill is, during your turn, if you have a rearguard with Earnest Correct in its name, this unit gets power plus 2,000. So a basic 10k boost for Earnest Correct. Really nice. Again, could be seen in the 3 off slots just for boosting your Vanguard to make it that easier number for breaking magic numbers. But again, it'll be a wait and see. We're then going to move on to the Celestial support next. We'll start off with their double rare, which is Longing for Dreams Barrowell. Barrowell's skill is, when this unit is placed on rearguard circle, you can Soul Blast 3, and then for every two of your even grade rearguards, choose one of your opponent's units, and until end of turn, chosen units get power minus 5,000. Then, if any of your opponent's units are power 0, your opponent puts them on the bottom of the deck in any order. Key thing I do want to know, it doesn't have to have the power reduction till end of turn. So, you can do it... the power reduction doesn't have to come from Barrowell. Obviously, Celestial's 5k drops something to 0 power, then you play down the Barrowell. Then Barrowell will kill off the Celestial hit unit as well. The other thing I do want to note is you can't choose the same unit twice with Barrowell skill. You have to choose 2 different units. Then the extra bit of support is Howling Ballad Fanael. Fanael's skill is Black Wings auto. When this unit is placed on rearguard circle, you can soul charge 1, and this unit gets boosted until end of turn. This is a little bit of fun because obviously it now promotes the Black Wings style a bit further because obviously you've now got this as a booster. Could be interesting because obviously soul charge obviously helps out for paying for Barrowell's cost. The boost obviously means you're running less grade 1. You can run less grade 1s in the deck now. And it then becomes which one's actually better, the White Wings version or the Black Wings version. Because obviously Black Wings, your only restrictions now are the 3 spare copies of Celestial and your PGs. Everything else can be 2s and 0s. Whereas the White Wings version's got the triggers and the 4 grade 2s that adjust grades in the bind zone as your only evens. So, going to be worthwhile experimenting and see where it goes. After that, we're now going to move on to the generic support. First one up is Midnight Lesson Vanu. Her skill is, when she's placed on rearguard circle, you can counterblast 2, put the top 5 cards of your deck, choose up to 2 triggers, and call them to open rearguard circles and shuffle your deck afterwards. This is kind of nice as it does set up support for the double rare that gains power based on trigger boosted shields. But calling triggers from deck doesn't seem interesting since you want them in deck to actually drive check. So I don't think it's going to see play. And Counterblast 2 for a call 2 is really heavy cost. Next card up is Enthusiastic Lunch Chantal. Her skill is Counterblast 1 until the end of turn. Your Vanguard gains power plus 5,000. So not that amazing. Doesn't really think it's going to see play. It's just the generic bottom of the barrel support, really. Next one up is our actual Blitz order in Vibrant Symphony. Its skill is, if your Vanguard was hit this turn, choose one of your units that's being attacked, and it gets power plus 30,000 till end of turn. So we got our big Blitz order that obviously the other clans got. Not the other clans, the other nations got in, I think it was set 2 they got their big ones. So this obviously is now our big one to make up for it. Nice little bit of power, but it does require the Vanguard gets hit first. So the opponent can play around it if they see you're obviously running it. Next card up is Clearly Worded Flaw. Her skill is, when she's placed on rearguard circle from hand, build top card of your deck. If it's a unit card that's not grade 2, pull it to open rearguard circle. If not, put it on the bottom of your deck. So it's a really nice card, but they made it a 6k base. If it had been 8k, it would have been fine. But unfortunately, 6k doesn't scale with really anything in the deck. You have got there's a 12k boost further down that is very restrictive. But honestly, I might test it out, see what I think of it. But it needs open rear guards constantly. It can work. Ideally, your main looks are going to be looking at Kyrie and Felty Rosa because they create the open rear guards anyway. But I feel like it will be just better support in general. Next card up is Fleeting Maiden Hananor. Her skill is, when the other rear guard is placed in the same column as this unit, till end of turn, this gets power plus 2,000. Again, this is more Felty Rosa and Kyrie support, generic support, because obviously they're the ones that do the multiple calls in the turn. So obviously she can then become bigger booster, push the numbers through. But whether it sees play or not, it's a different story, because obviously grade 1s do get very tight very quickly. Next card up is Powerful Dash Andorra. Her skill is, when she's placed on rearguard circle from hand, Counterblast 2, and so end turn this unit gets critical plus 1. This is very similar to the Angels looking one from Keta Sanctuary, And that didn't see play, so this really isn't going to see play either, unfortunately. Then the last two cards are actually a pair combo, because they do work with each other. First one up is Fulfilling Wishes Together Milia. Her skill is, also when she's placed on rearguard circle, Cat plus 1, search your deck up for up to 1 Dreamy Eyes Emmeline, call it to an open rearguard circle, shuffle your deck. So that alone is a really good skill. Cat plus 1, get a free grade 1 from deck. Can't do anything wrong with that. But it then gets better when you look at Emmeline's skill. Her skill is continuous rearguard circle. If you have 3 or more other rearguards, this unit gets power plus 5,000. So obviously this is the 12k boost I was talking about earlier when talking about floor. So obviously that floor, her with floor would make 18. But the key bit is Milia and Emmeline together actually makes a nice 23k column without Persona riding, which is really good pressure numbers. This might see Tech into play for the deck for Kyrie over Alfie, but obviously that would need testing. Wait and see how it goes. But that is it for this video. If you like what we've seen, please do like and subscribe. It very much does help the channel. Drop a comment down below. Let me know what you think of the Clarissa support, the last bits of the Celestials, the generic stuff. And honestly, now we have all 6 ride lines, please do let me know what your opinions are and what ride line you think you're going to build for the deck. I shall catch you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.